Okay, and so this next demo is going to go through the actual placing of the ceiling joists and the placing of finished ceilings on the floors here. So what we're going to do, I've gone ahead and just hidden away some of the stuff, so I'll go ahead and just go through that real quick. So we'll just hide element. So we'll go ahead and be able to get in here. And it looks like there's some other stuff in here. It looks like we started, Aaron tried to start getting this going. It looks like we have some double roofs, so we're just going to go through and take a look here. Alright, okay, so the first thing we want to do, we're going to be setting up the roof. You guys can place ceilings ready-made in here. You guys can come in and you can just place the gypsum wallboard on the furring, and that'll be what you're going to do for the first floor. What you'll end up doing for that guy, if we just come in here, you set this to first floor, and then it'll automatically try and figure out where the ceiling belongs in that space. So you just hover over, you can see if I click, I place one in there. She already has done that. And then you can go ahead and, using the align tool in section, align that to the bottom of your floor plate for the second floor. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that for the second floor here in a second, and so I'm not going to go ahead and show it, but that would be how you would do the first floor. And this is just gypsum board, so we're just going to be able to basically attach it to the roof. Now on the top of the second floor, we don't actually have any structure here. We have the roof in here, but none of these walls actually extend all the way through. So we're going to actually insert a plane here so that we're actually going to be able to do this. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and create some ceiling joists in section here that will actually enable us to get this thing to work properly here. And it looks like we at some point messed up some kind of connection here, so I did something at some point that's going to mess this up. And let's just do this. I'll fix this guy real fast. There we go. Okay, and now what we're going to want to do is we're going to create a new floor plate. Now that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but you'll see what we're going with this pretty quickly here. So we go to floor, and I'm just going to pick one of these guys, this 10-inch joist. I'm assuming somebody's done the structures on this, but then we're going to go ahead and duplicate, and I'm just going to call this ceiling DH. I'm going to be developing this here, okay? So we're going to go ahead under structure. We can go ahead and just delete away these layers that we don't need. Those will be exposed up in the ceiling. We're not going to have plywood sheathing because it's not going to be occupiable. People will be able to hop from joist to joist if they're up there. And so we have only the joist itself, and we have, you can see here, the actual dimensions relative to the nominal, right? So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And hit OK. So we have our 10-inch, so to speak, joist. Now we are in floor plan sketch mode, so we can select by wall, going in a clockwise direction, and I'll note that this didn't close because we have two different wall types. So I'll go ahead and just align that, and align this. I'm going to go ahead and set a different span direction here, because this is going to be the direction that we would actually have the joist moving. Okay. Okay, so hit OK, and it created that, and we didn't put it on the right floor, so we're going to go put it in the roof floor. Okay, and you can see that that's now been created here. Alright, so if we go to edit the boundary now, let's go into our second floor plan, and let's just get these things aligned here. So we're going to be faces of the core, roll over, get that, and I'm just going to do these two faces because that's continuing along with what I've done already. Okay, so hit OK. It's going to ask us to join this stuff, and we can hit yes. And if we go back into our 3D view, you can see that that's cleaned up that interior edge right there. Alright, so now we can go into our section. If we zoom in here, we now have our wall, our floor plate, and we're going to go ahead and use the align tool and realign that. in real life, what you do is you'd have some kind of structure coming up in here, and I'm not going to get into this to go crazy, but we'll just go through, and this is essentially how you guys can start to set this up. Okay, so if we go through there, and we're going to go, and now we're going to go into the architecture in the ceiling here. We're going to place the ceiling, and I'm just going to go into 3D view to do this. So now we have that on there. We can literally attach to the plan on attaching to the bottom of that. So we have ceiling, and we'll set this up on the second floor. You can see that roll over there, and then it's going to automatically try and tag over to that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to hide these elements away so that I can see where I have and have not placed ceilings in here. So right now we have a 10-foot offset, so let's make sure our offset's right, because we won't really be able to easily see here. And it looks like we'll have some distance between there and there, so let's set that to 0. Oh, 0. Alright, and that gives us an offset of 10 foot, 10 3/4, so we'll copy that. Alright, now if we go back into our 3D view, you can see that that's sitting there, everything's alright, and that will actually be mounted into the studs there. And so now we can place more other ceilings. And so we'll go ahead and do this. Oh. Alright, so now we're almost there, one more. Okay, I don't think I created any extras, but we'll see. So if we then go and select these guys, because they're all the same type, we can come in here and just paste in that new value. Alright, now all those guys will actually come up and meet the floor, and we'll have a ceiling with this hung on jetboard in our section here. So we'll look at this, and you can see now this is all set. Alright, and so that's going to be the placing of the ceilings in this, and you can see our section continues to develop here. And at this point, we're just going to go ahead and take a quick building section through here. So I'll just show you guys how to do that. Review section. Okay, cut through building, and we'll go into our floor plan here. We can just, okay, so we'll just take this guy and cut him like that. We'll go ahead and just look into the kitchen here. Building section, section 2. Start to see how this thing's starting to form up. And we'll go ahead and set this to 5. You can see I probably need to place this. Looks like this has now become unjoined. Yeah, so it's then we have a problem here with the ceiling, so we can go and edit the boundary for that. We'll edit that in the first floor plan. Wall faces. That really relationship. Alright, you can see how this is all working. It's coming together pretty nicely. Alright. Okay, so and that's going to go ahead and conclude this demo.